Robe is on location in Petaluma, California with lighting designer Alexandra Lutz-Higgins. How do you know this location?
So this location, I have been spending the past few months living here when I'm not on the road, and it's a beautiful farm property, and we have a gorgeous little house over there. And so when I'm not touring, which hasn't been very often because I'm always on the road, but I have been staying here, and it's a lovely, beautiful area.
I have to say, I totally agree with that. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to do a rewind and talk about how you first got interested in lights and lighting.
Yeah.
You know, was there a moment? What happened?
Yeah, so I've always been making art since I was a kid, always creating. And so I ended up going to art school because I thought I wanted to be sort of a more fine artist in that sense. I was doing drawing and photo, and ended up realizing that that wasn't the path I wanted to go down. But knew I needed to be in some form of creative field. So when I graduated college, I kind of felt like I was starting from scratch, but I had this like micro inkling that the music industry would have a little facet of it that I could create something in. I had no idea it was going to be lighting. So I moved to Colorado, moved to Boulder, and ended up reaching out to a venue there called the Fox Theater, and just to see their opportunities, and didn't get a response back, but it made me very excited to check out that venue eventually. So I started working at a coffee shop, and someone one night dropped off some tickets to a show, and I ended up going with no idea of who was playing, what genre of music or anything. I just went totally blind, and it was an EDM show, which meant the lights were amazing, and they had this huge lighting rig. And the short version of that story is that night changed my life, and I had this very cosmic epiphany and was fully encapsulated in the lights and the world that it created, and knew without a doubt that I'd found my professional calling in creating.
And then from there, presumably, you what happened from there?
Next morning, I went back to the Fox Theater and I knocked on the door, which is not something you really do to venues, but I did. And when they finally answered, I just essentially gave my full pitch and begged them to hire me, even though I had no experience in the industry. I just knew that I had to be doing lights, and I got very lucky that that venue, as well as its sister venue, the Boulder Theater, held a production internship. I became an intern and was just shadowing all the LDs and trying to learn everything I could, and eventually would start running the openers for the shows, and I would make connections and they would take me on their gigs as a tech, and it just grew from there. But that was the starting point, is a production internship at those venues.
Was there first a significant or sort of a defining project at all?
I don't feel like there's one project that has led me to where I am. It's just been this sort of chaotic mosh pit of beautiful experiences. And some of them have given me some really important skills that have led me to where I am. Some of them have given me very important connections that have pushed me in a certain direction. And a lot of them have just given me my own sort of confidence and my own just shift in idea of where I'm going. You know, my goals have changed throughout my whole career. Is like, what I started envisioning my career at, it's totally different from where I envision it now. And a lot of that has to do with just like what certain gigs will bring me. So not one experience, but so many.
You light a lot of music artists now.
Yeah.
Was music a direction you've always wanted to go in?
Yes, definitely music. For me, as of now, I love music so much. I feel it, I see it. It's all I ever want to be around, and so getting the chance to illustrate it with lights is definitely how I want to be using my creative lighting outlet.
you've lit some brilliant artists like Noah Kahan, and you're about to go out with the Marias again.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the work you've done with those two artists this year?
Yeah, so with Noah, I was with him all last year, and then at the beginning of this year for his 6th season tour. I was one of the programmers on it, as well as the touring lighting director. And that was just a really cool year of a full world tour, and I got to really see this show that we all created together live in so many different spaces. And then the work I'm doing now with the Marias, I think the coolest thing for me about it is that the show is constantly evolving, and we're constantly redefining what the whole artistic purpose of this show is going to be. And it's really cool to be a part of those conversations and a part of that vision, and see kind of where it started versus where we were a few weeks ago in Europe versus where we're about to go to versus like all of our conversations about next year.
When you're doing a lighting design, how important are other visual elements like video and sets?
So important. We are all creating one final product, and there is so much that goes into each department that there is always going to be push-pull. There has to be push-pull, and that's a really cool thing. But as much as we can avoid the friction between everything, that I think is always the end goal. But the type of end product you can get when video is so intentionally working with the set and the lighting, and we're taking different turns to have the spotlight, it's just total magic. And when it really comes together in this explosion of collaboration, it's so cool.
What do you most love about your work?
So much. I think what feels so special to me is working with people who are so passionate about what they do and are so talented. I'm constantly inspired, I'm constantly being pushed and challenged in really helpful ways. And just the conversations I've had have been really powerful, and just to be constantly around that energy of both like-minded and not like-minded people. You know, we all come from very different experiences, and to be around that energy all the time of people who are just really passionate but have their own little thing is really cool. And I am so excited all the time when I get to interact with all of these people.
You obviously love traveling as well.
Yeah.
Are there any particular places that you enjoy working, chilling, hanging out?
Yeah, especially in the last year and a half, I've been traveling a lot in between tours. And one thing I feel very grateful that tour has done is given me sort of the confidence to go into these new places and just be. I think I used to have this mentality of like, go, be a tourist in all of these places. And a lot of the places I've been traveling to have been just my reprieve from the go life. And just taking a moment and listening to what my body needs in that moment. So I spent 5 weeks in Bali this past winter, and a lot of those 5 weeks were just me going to this beautiful spot, posting up and reading all day, because that's what my body wanted to do. And I feel very grateful that I found that outlet of travel, because it's been a really good way to kind of balance the touring lifestyle.
Why do we need light in our lives?
Light. Well, first of all, light, first and foremost, is just this cosmic marvel. It is a particle, it is a wave, it is the fastest thing in our universe that we know about. And so everyone interacts with light in some sort of way on a daily basis. And to get the chance to manipulate it for the sake of art is really awesome. And just to take something so fundamental about this universe and create something with it is really cool. And I can't go one day without thinking about it. So I love it.
You definitely found your passion.
Yeah.
Without any doubt there.